Today, a band that are on their 35th anniversary tour, February the 2nd, downstairs at the Dome, will feature Xentrix. And if you don't know who they are, like I didn't, let's do a little bit of a history lesson. Xentrix are a English thrash metal band from Preston, Lancashire. They formed in 1984 under a different name, Sweet Vengeance, and they changed their name I think around 1988. They released a number of albums in the 80s and the 90s, and they're classic examples of kind of technical, melodic and aggressive thrash metal influences, and even perhaps even competitors, being Metallica, Megadeth, Testament, Coroner, and they gained sort of fame, but they didn't quite kind of make it to their kind of counterparts. You know, they were one of the big four of English thrash metal, most certainly, along with Acid Rain, Onslaught and Sabbat, but they just didn't enjoy as much of a success, and which is a shame. I wish I was around at the time. I only have my parents to blame for putting me out in the wrong era. But so, as I said, they didn't quite achieve the same success as their American counterparts, and they split up in 1997 after some sort of lineup changes, and they briefly reunited around 2004, 2005. And it wasn't until 2013 that they officially came back with a new singer, Jay Walsh, who replaced the original vocalist Chris Astley, and then they started releasing albums again, and 7 Words is the 2022 album. I am so glad that someone brought this to my attention, because it's just so good. It's awesome. Seven Words is a 10-track album that runs for approximately 50 minutes. It's a perfect kind of blend of old school and modern thrash metal, as everything you could ever desire in an album. It's fast, it's pacey, furious riffs, pounding drums, shredding solos, catchy choruses, twists and turns, and there's even some sort of atmospheric and progressive and sort of experimental nods to other genres like death metal, groove metal, and the original release of the album with 11 tracks, in fact, and it had a cover of Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies, which I grew up on Alice Cooper when I was young, so I was pleased to find that, although you won't find it on the 10-track release currently on Spotify, but it's about there on the internet. Let's kind of sort of start with the beginning, sort of an instrumentally kind of like introduction to the first track of Behind the Walls of Treachery, sets some mood with some ominous and eerie sounds before exploding into a thrash metal onslaught. The title track, 7 Words, which follows, this is one of the fastest and heaviest songs on the album, and there's also a video out there on YouTube, so definitely check that out. That song is about the sort of 7 deadly sins and how they corrupt and destroy humanity. These are themes that kind of appear throughout the album, whether it's corruption in the outside world or corruption from within. And when you set these themes to the sort of the great technicality, speed and aggressive melody that Xentrix push out in their thrash metal, it's just an awesome, captivating combination. And I will be listening to this album again and again, and I'm definitely going to be going through their back catalogue. This is a band I've missed again, and it's just I'm so ashamed that I don't possess all the knowledge of all the bands for all of the time, because I've really missed a gem here. So if that alone doesn't invite you to go and check them out, then I'm not quite sure what else I can say will. But I thoroughly loved the album. Spit Coin, that's another kind of gem. It's a little bit kind of slower, but it's very heavy, intense, and it's all about the hypocrisy of the and greed of the rich and powerful, and the lyrics are just as good as the music. Often I've found in the kind of heyday of thrash, the kind of the bigger bands, even to some extent bands like sort of Megadeth, the sort of the lyricism is a bit, it kind of tires on you. It's thrash is a speedy, complex kind of form of music, and because music and it requires lyrical verbosity to to kind of match that, because if it isn't there, it's, I don't know, it just doesn't somehow kind of fuse together. Maybe this is just my personal kind of take, but Xentrix again deliver throughout consistently. I think my absolute favourite in the album is My War. This is another fast, furious thrash metal song, and this is all about kind of internal sort of narratives and personal struggles and the conflicts that we face in our life. And I think that's definitely my favourite. It tells a kind of story of surviving these struggles, becoming stronger, or else they break you down. The lyrics are very, very relatable, motivational, and the chorus is just super catchy. There's some kind of mid-tempo stuff in there as well. The auto of nothing, sort of progressive and atmospheric elements. It's about the meaningless and futility and emptiness of life, and how people are trying to sort of fill one's life with false idols and illusions. The lyrics are very philosophical and pessimistic, and again I'm coming back to this ability that they have, not just be able to conjure imagination and excitement musically, but also lyrically as well. The seventh song, I believe, is Reckless with a Smile, another good old sort of thrash, groovy, melodic style. That was their third single. Probably for me that comes up with their second best. There's just so much I do enjoy, and I wish I could get down to London on the 2nd of February. Unfortunately, I am already rotated in for work. So, if you've liked anything that I've said here about this band, and you even know them and didn't know that they were on their 35-year anniversary kind of sort of like tour, then hey, wake up. Get there. It's. I'm sure it's going to be a blast. It saddens me that I will miss them, because I really have enjoyed this album. And of course, if you're another one of me, then go on my behalf, and at the very least, go and check out the music, because that is exactly how I'm going to be spending my weekend, catching up with Xentrix, working from the 2022 7 Words album and rolling backwards. Superior thrash metal. I was highly disheartened to kind of read the story of success, but kind of not quite being up there with the big boys of the era, because they certainly deserved it. And even with the lineup change in the sort of 2019 period, 2017 period, it's still just sounding absolutely awesome. So I wish the boys the best of luck with their gig and future gigs, and hopefully future music, because it's just got to happen. These things can't die, mustn't be allowed to die. Aging sucks. As long as they're musically capable, I hope they're musically creative and putting more output, but I hope to see them at some point in the future, if not on the 2nd of February, downstairs at the Dome.